Alright everybody, welcome back to the finale of Season 7. And we are at Monza for what is going to be a wet qualifying in just a couple of minutes. It looks like Tom Bartels currently at the top of the grid. Well, no, Matta's taking the top now. Right now, we're just coming in when all the laps are starting to arise. And you can see the clouds over the drivers. And the track not looking too great as well. It's looking like it might be a bit damp, and yes it is. In 10 minutes they will have some good old rain in the Italian forest. But today is gonna be the turning point of who will be the champion. Will it be Ben Langford, who is driving for Wild Things Racing in his Aston Martin? Will it be Mika Räikköla in his Aston Martin, or will it be the person who is currently leading the championship, Abe Santema? Abe Santema probably having the biggest chance today to win the championship, unless he finishes out of the top 3. If he finishes out of the top 3 and Ben Langford wins this race, well, sadly for Abe, he will not be champion. Mika Räikköla, if everything is correct, he might be on equal points as Abe, so it will be a battle between those two for who will win the championship. It's Gunnar Hutama and Felix Palin coming together, but currently Mika Räikköla taking provisional pole with a 154.5. He is going quicker, but it is not much of an indication of where these drivers are. It will be raining in about 10 minutes, so we'll see how many drivers are able to set their valid lap times and who will be able to capitalize on such event. Now, Abe Santema, where is he right now on the track? Well, he is currently coming up to Parabolica, as he's going to set his first flying lap time, and we'll see where this puts him. Will it put him ahead of Mika Räikköla? Will it put him way, way behind? We'll see now as he is coming across towards the line. He's behind Lucas Van Dam. He's getting the slipstream, and he comes across the line now to set the fastest lap time of the qualifying. But Mika Räikköla currently going 3/10 quicker as well. Where is Ben Langford? Ben Langford right now has not set a valid lap time. There he is. He has done an invalid lap time. Mohammed Bintang having some connection problems, but here is Ben Langford. He is on an invalid lap time. He won't be able to do one right now. But in front of him, Luke Mason. He is not challenging for the championship, but he could definitely be challenging for the win today. Another British driver in the Mercedes. And he's going to be hoping to at least get onto the front row right now. If not, steal that provisional pole position from Abe Santema. Is Abe Santema going quicker? Yes, he is. But relative to Mika Räikköla, well, not quick at all. Mika Räikköla going 6/10 quicker. He'll be taking that provisional pole away from Abe. But what is Luke Mason going to be able to do now as he comes through Parabolica? And this camera switches away from him. Comes across the line now to set his first flying lap time, and it is only third. About 3/10 slower than Mika Räikköla. 3/10 slower than Mika Räikköla, and about 5/10 slower than Abe Santema. Mika Räikköla, by the way, now coming across towards Parabolica, and I think it is starting to rain. So this will be the final time that people will be able to set their lap times. Mika Räikköla has to make this one stick. He's coming through Parabolica. He hasn't invalidated it, so this will put him on the front row. Well, he was already on the front row, but this will put him in provisional pole. Abe Santema, is he going to be able to retaliate? He's only going 5/10 quicker, and I don't think he'll be able to go ahead of Mika Räikköla, as right now he comes across the line only in second and only separated by about 0.05 of a second. Abe Santema might be very upset with himself. Luke Mason trying to get a faster lap time, but where is Ben Langford? Ben Langford stuck in 28th place, and he's not going to be able to do much better. He's 2.5 seconds slower than the current leaders, and his only valid lap time, well, he hasn't had one. And this might spell disaster for the British driver in the Aston Martin, as he's not going to be able to set a good lap time at all, and the last 10 minutes of this qualifying will be flooded. Most drivers will be probably sitting in the pits, and well, all I can say is Ben Langford might not be too happy with how this qualifying went for him. And Mika Raikkola might be happy with how things are turning out right now. Abe Santama behind him. Mika Raikkola currently taking provisional pole and probably pole position for the race. Ben Langford, we see him come across the line now from 29th. He will go only up into 6th, which still from there he can definitely fight on if it stays wet, because Abe Santama and Camille Taha both will not be too good in the rain in their Porsches. Tom Bartels might also be slipping behind. By the way, Tom Bartels, haven't seen him too high up this season. 4th place ahead of Luke Mason and Ben Langford, respectively. Ben Langford, well, smashing himself in the wall, probably not happy at all with how things are going in this qualifying or in this session at all. Marcin Domanski, on the other hand, he is going quicker. And who hasn't set a valid lap time? Kanahari Hutama, Felix Palin, Pachola Demano, John Gibson. He was planning not to do a valid lap time, but right now gonna go out there. Rogerio Santos, who is the AM champion. We can announce that already. Rogerio Santos taking the AM championship for the Brazilians in this league. Well done to him, and he'll be moving on to the pros if he decides to stay. And Michal Malajek, sadly not setting a valid lap time right now, but he is going to come across the line to set his first valid lap time. Hopefully this will put him ahead of Dimas Adiyasta. Well, at least he'll be hoping that he can do that. And yes, it is 23rd ahead of Dimas Adiyasta over 157.7. Yeah, absolutely crazy weather. Yeah, it is very nice weather. I do agree. I completely agree. But I think that's going to be about it for qualifying. Not going to be much at all. Yeah. That's it. Pretty much for qualifying. Everybody can chill out before the race, you know. And get their strategies in place. Will they be changing to the dries? Will they be hoping to do some better things? Is that Camille Taha who left the server? Did he leave the server? No, he has decided to disqualify himself. Well, clearly not caring about where he's going to be starting, thinking that he might be able to pick up the scraps here, putting himself down into 29th. Not sure what sort of strategy that is. Limpar Bertol, he is currently fighting for 2nd place in the championship alongside Ethan Reed and I think Rafif Prahastia. So he'll be hoping for a good finish here as well. I feel like I'd get destroyed if I start in the front. Yeah, well, that's for sure. Whoops, nearly put in the stream key. That would not be too good. And here is John Gibson coming into the pits. And yeah, well, you can see the state of the rain absolutely pouring down. And, well, some drivers will be hoping for a wet start here, especially if you are driving a car like Gibson's, or if you're driving a car like Ben Langford or Mika Raikkola. Mika Raikkola will definitely be hoping that it stays rainy or damp at the start so he can get away from Abe Santama here and maybe even secure his first championship in this league. Tom Bartels currently out there just training for these conditions, hoping that he can stay alive, as he is going to be starting from the 2nd row. Well, what can I say? Ben Langford going to be starting in 5th place. He's going to be starting right behind Tom Bartels and about 2 cars behind Abe Santima. I think Ben Langford will have the inside line here, so he might be at a bit of a disadvantage if everything goes to hell. Because, yeah, terrible. And look at that rain, absolutely pouring it down. I don't even think if we have I don't even think the race track will be you know, cool. What's the word? Drying up. I don't think the track will be drying up at all. Even if it stops raining before the race. Look at Tom Bartels barely able to take the Lesmans. Kanahari Hutama also struggling on the exit, destroying the boards. And hopefully he won't be destroying the boards in the race, because those ones are pretty critical for the drivers. And, I mean, on one hand, you do love to see some rain in a season. And on the other hand, I'm not sure the drivers like me too much when I put these conditions on here. I don't think I'm too popular with the crowd. Felix Paynon currently 24th and is just crawling around the track ahead of Rogerio Santos, who only set 1 valid lap time, and that was during the absolute downpour of 159.2. You personally love me for this. Well, that is great to hear. I love rain as well, so if I was racing, I'd be absolutely hyped to be racing in these conditions. But that also kind of is biased because I do drive the Aston Martin on a regular day. Mika Raikkola decided to go out onto the track to maybe also train himself for the wet conditions. And just coming through the first corner right now, it's not too easy, especially on these tracks. When there's a lot of puddles and you're going at very high speeds, there's a big chance that you might slam it straight into the wall. And oh, just like Kanahari Hutama, slipping in turn 1 in the first chicane. That is definitely aquaplaning or aquaplaning. And Mikhail Malashek able to just about avoid him. Oh, and Michael Malashek also not doing too great in the rain in the 3rd corner there. But yeah, no, absolutely crazy stuff. 3 minutes to go, and I'm not sure the rain is getting any less. Yeah, it's only getting worse with 10 minutes in 10 minutes, and the race is supposed to start about an hour after in-game. It only starts an hour after the qualifying, so I don't think it will dry up. I don't think it's going to dry up at all. But if you do have your own predictions or suggestions, or no, just predictions for the race, please do drop them into the chat, and we'll see how true they are. Because, well, anything can happen in this race. And your predictions might just be true. John Gibson last time did get the predictions absolutely spot on. He said, oh no, it was for Imola, I think he got the predictions completely correct. He said that Limpar Berthold would be taking P1, and indeed he did. In 30 minutes it's going to dry up, so I think maybe a grease track conditions. Well, that's definitely what you'd be hoping for as Camacho sliding on the straight. That absolutely shows you how terrible the conditions are. Camacho, by the way, able to promote himself up into 6th. We completely missed that. Eric Gassel also in 7th. Mata Sidikeskis up in 8th. Ferdi Gerard Mata in 9th. And Patrick Starr in 10th. Flooded conditions, and it still shows getting worse. Yeah, it can happen. It can definitely happen. It gets much, much worse. But actually, it's only getting less now. I just checked the forecast. So who knows? Maybe it'll be greased, maybe it'll be damp, or maybe it'll be a massive, massive downpour at the start of the race, and we're going to have a 20-car pileup and a very long night of a couple of Red Bulls in the steward room. Who knows, but we're all hoping for the best that it is not going to be a chaotic start as Michal Malešek yet again skipping the second chicane. I'm pulling up next to the track if it's a wet start. I think most people will be pulling up to the side of the track, to be fair. Most people will be treating it as an open lobby start. Though this league is more cleaner than a public lobby. And, well, in some respects it's better than more professional, let's say that, leagues like AOR. So we'll be hoping that the drivers will be very clean, because we do have a very clean bunch of drivers this season, and we'll be hoping to carry that on into the next season. And that is about the end of qualifying. And we can finally announce that... Oh, high server ping. That's weird. Mika Räikköla takes P1 for the Aston Martin boys. And then it is Abe Santama alongside him. Then it is Tom Bartels, the Season 1 Vgtr champion, taking it into third. Then Luke Mason, Ben Langford, the other championship contender for today. Anthony Camacho able to put it up into sixth. Then Eric Gazelle, Matas, and then 30, Jerry Ramadhan, Patrick Starr for 10th place. Benjamin Koo taking pole position for the AM split. Then it is Rafif Prestia, Ethan Reed, Robert Besant, Limpar Bertol, and then Mohammed Bintang. Is it Samil Dunn for the pros, only down in 17th place, not able to set too good of a valid lap time in the try time. Why am I saying that there is going to be a server reboot? No, there isn't. Marcin Dumansky in 18th, then Benjamin Bedov, Mohamed Irfan only down in 20th place, Lucas Van Dam, then Michael Malešek, Demas Adiasta, Felix Palin, Rogerio Santos, the AM champion for Season 7, Pacholo Demano, Kanahari Hutama, John Gibson hasn't set a valid lap time today, and Camille Tahar also not setting a valid lap time either. That is your starting grid. 300 ping. Well, I'm not sure we're going to have a server restart. Hopefully our server manager, Quali, is doing his best to cover all the issues with some sticky tape. And, well, we'll be hoping that it does not matter in the race, because we don't want that to be affecting the championship battle today. But how is it looking? Well, it is a wet track start, but there is no rain in 10 or 20 or 30 minutes, so everything is going fine. Ping is under control. Alright, that's great. Well, we can probably scroll way to the front. And there is Mika Räikköla. He's also hoping to take the championship today. If the points are calculated correctly, he should be on the same amount of points as Abe Santama, who started alongside him today for the race. And well, One can only think of the worst, but we'll be hoping that those two do not collide no matter what. Abe Santima will be starting on the outside, so he does have the advantage of taking the runoff. But, well, with Tom Bart... Well, actually, hold on. A funny story on this track. Tom Bartels, Turn 1, Season 2, I think, or Season 3. We're all going into Monza, and, well, what does Tom Bartels do? Coming from about 500 meters down, absolutely smashing into the back of me, so... Abe Santima will be very cautious with Tom Bartels behind him, and what is this? Is it raining? Did it just start raining right now? I just noticed some rain dropping, and it looks like it is raining right now at the start. That is really, really peculiar, to be fair. It did not show any rain, and now it is. What can I say? This finale is getting crazier and crazier. Abe Santima might not be too happy with the current conditions, though Mika Räikköla absolutely delighted. He is going to be hoping for a dream race today to take his first championship, but do not count out the other Aston Martin driver, Ben Langford. He is lining up in 5th, but he can definitely take the lead if anything goes wrong between Mika Räikköla and Abe Santima. This man over here, he is capable of absolutely anything. We saw his awful strategy, though, in Barcelona, so he'll be hoping that he's polished all of that off. And not screw it up too much. Not making the Zolder mistake again. Yeah, absolutely. Well, actually, we need to target Matas with that. Matas, do not put on dry tires. If you put dry tires on, you'll have too low of pressures, and they will pop yet again. Don't do it, okay? Do not put on dry tires. Because it looks like it's only getting worse. Yeah, box for dries, absolutely. What is going on? Is it raining harder now, or am I going crazy? Right. It is time for the formation lap. For the final time in Vgtr Season 7. As they start their engines, we'll be hoping for a very eventful race. It is going to be an hour of ruthless battling, and hopefully everybody will be able to keep it clean as Mika Räikköla finally gets going for his formation lap. And well, I am not sure what sort of pressure he's feeling, sadly, having to miss out the Brands Hatch race. And well, this kind of put him on the back foot. If he did not miss the Brands Hatch race, he could definitely be very comfortably leading this championship and maybe even be champion by now. But Mika Räikköla probably level on points with Abe Santima. This is the closest it's ever been in VGTR history. Ben Langford also very close behind, only 15 points behind Abe Santima. And Abe Santima needs to finish in front of Ben Langford in order to stop him from getting the crown. And oh boy, as they come through the third corner, hopefully nobody has spun on the formation lap yet. We'll be focusing on Matas for that one. And well, he's not spun yet, but we can expect anything from this Lithuanian. Also a pretty seasoned driver, I think, starting from Season 2 or Season 3. Still with us, even now, until Season 7, and we'll be hoping to see more of him in Season 8. And hopefully a bit more successful if he decides to choose a better car than that Ferrari. But Mika Räikköla now What is the strategy? Well, if it is actually going to go too dry, they'll be hoping to stay out on the wets for as long as possible, and maybe even bring them into the orange zone or into the red zone, and then pit again. That is to minimize the, I don't know, the possibility that there is rain and then they switch to dries and then they have to switch back to rain, and all of that sort of malarkey that might happen. Mika Räikkönen and Abe Santama both will be hoping to stay on the wet for as long as possible, and maybe even stay on them the whole race if it does turn out to be wet, or if it turns out to rain the whole time. Mika Räikkönen, the amount of pressure he has on him today in order to win the championship, or to stay ahead of Abe Santama at least, and to win this championship is absolutely immense. I have no clue how it feels to be him today. Actually, fun fact, never starting from pole position, but I do have a win myself, so just a slight little flex there. Right. They come towards Parabolica now. By the way, who is in the pits? John Gibson going to be starting from the pits today. And probably a very wise thing to do. Limpar Berthold, he's around. Oh, no. I hope he didn't get damage from that. He's definitely screwed up his tires now. Ganahari Hutama, he's in the wall. Oh, what is going on to everybody over there? Not great start. And it hasn't even started the race yet. But we are going to be focusing on the battle in the front. Mika Räikkönen alongside Abe Santama as they come towards the line. And they'll be waiting for the green lights to appear in front of them and for the man to scream go as they come closer and closer. And now the green flags are waved and they are away for the Monza finale, and looks like Abe Santama actually getting a much better start to the race. He's already ahead of Mika Räikkönen. Luke Mason to the outside, he's lost it! Luke Mason losing it on the start before they even get to turn one. Mika Räikkönen, might he try and go around the outside here? Ben Langford already up into third place. Abe Santama, he's had a horrible turn one, and Mika Räikkönen, they touch, and Abe Santama, he's around, and oh, this is a classic turn one start. What has happened here? Everybody going off, and well, one might say that I have jinxed it in calling everybody a clean driver. Mika Räikkönen down in 20th place. Abe Santama, where is he? Oh, I think he's way down the field as well. What has happened? Abe Santama, he is way behind Ben Langford already, and a lot of people coming together at the start. Oh, what is that going on? Completely mixing up the order, and a lot of people having damage. Mika Räikkönen, one of the main championship contenders, down in 20th place, actually way down the field. Oh no, he's in 17th. And no, he's got a ton of damage as well. Abe Santama has got a ton of damage on his car as well. He's 2.5 seconds behind Ben Langford. Matas Sidikeskis 4/10 behind Tom Bartels. It is the battle between the two Ferraris, the two Italian cars, battling on the Italian track. And again, a lot of people colliding as they come through Ascari. And is there another pile-up? I don't even want to look at it. Mohammed Bintang, and what just happened there? Oh, it is going to be a long night for the stewards. That's all I can say. This is absolutely horrible. Nobody able to get through the first lap clean. Nobody at all. Everybody having some sort of damage. Nobody able to do anything to avoid the carnage of Monza, as Abe Santama gets just a bit closer to Ben Langford. And as it stands now, Abe Santama will be champion if this stays like that. Tom Bartels in the background, he has gone off the track, and that gave Matas the position. And well, Tom Bartels falling back down to 10th place. Benjamin Koo now on the back of Anthony Camacho for 4th place, or, well, actually for 1st place. Benjamin Koo going to be going down the inside of Camacho, and not this time though, as they try to maneuver around this track. One person already retiring from this race. Mika Rakola, where is he? And I do not wish to say it, but did Mika Rakola retire from this race? I think Mika Rakola indeed retiring from this race. That is horrible stuff. And we might see some things in the chat popping up soon, as Benjamin Koo trying to go round the outside off Camacho into Ascari. And is he going to be able to pull this move off? Sadly, I don't think so, but Mohamed Irfan dropping way back down, and a ton of people in the pits. Well, actually more than half the grid in the pits. Paciolo Demana, Limpar Bertolds, Demasa Diasta, Eric Gazelle, Camille Tahar, Rogerio Santos, Michael Malajek, Patrick Starr, Marcin Demansky, Luke Mason, Rafik Prestia, Felix Palin, Robert Bezant, and Is It Samil Dunn, all in the pits. Presumably fixing their damage. Benjamin Koo getting ahead of Camacho, and that puts a buffer between him and Ethan Reed. Benjamin Badalf actually running in 3rd place. Good stuff by him, the Bentley driver, able to take advantage of these horrible conditions. And sadly, I think with no other competition, I feel like Abe Santamo will be staying in 2nd place for the rest of the race, but it has only been 5 minutes, so we cannot count out Matas Sidikeskis from possibly challenging Abe here if he is able to get closer. And wow, I mean, look at the amount of people in the pits. Not good, not good, not good. John Gibson though, for the first time able to, well, actually escape all of the carnage. His start from the pits benefiting him hugely. He's up into 12th place from last. And, well, he's in 5th place for the AMs. And he'll be hoping to catch up to Lucas Van Dam as well, as he is going about 5 seconds quicker than him per lap already. Camille Taha getting close to Luke Mason. Luke Mason having a horrible start. He hit a puddle of water, and, well, actually, Luke Mason letting Camille Taha through. And Ben Langford sets in the fastest lap time of the race already, as it is starting to get way, way drier. And is he pulling away from Abe? Yes, he is. Though Ben Langford going very slow through the first corner, as I think everybody is as well. And Abe Santama going slower than Matas. As I said, Matas might be able to challenge Abe here for 2nd place if Abe does not improve, and it currently seems like he is already pulling away about 5/10 since the last time they came through the first sector. Benjamin Koo quickly getting away from Anthony Camacho, and Limpar Berthold, Luke Mason again off the track. Limpar Berthold limping. Maybe hoping to get into the pits. No, he's not. And he's, well, making a bit of a tussle here. Camille Taha getting ahead of them. As, oh, what's happened there? Camille Taha spinning and hitting Limpar Berthold. Well, nobody able to keep it on the track at all. Anthony Camacho trying to catch the back of Benjamin Koo. Luke Mason able to just about now recover from that spin or his hit into the wall. Still down in 17th place though, unlucky for him. And already 3 people retiring from this race. Mika Rakola being one of them. A challenger for the championship today. Having to, well, retire from the race. And well, chaotic start, absolutely, yeah, taking away the fun from the rest of the race. I do love chaotic starts, but when they're this messy and awful, I'm not even sure what words describe it. It's just maybe disgusting, to be fair, in terms of racing. Nobody able to keep it under control. Not even sure what catalyzed that turn 1 crash and what catalyzed the Ascari crash as well. Rogerio Santos coming in to say, unbelievable. Yeah, turn 1 was crunchy. You could say that. You could probably hear by my voice. I might be a bit disappointed. That's the word I was looking for. A bit disappointed with the drivers today. And I was more or less hoping for a much more fun and exciting championship battle today, sadly. Looking like it's all going to Abe Santoma's ways. As even if he stays in second, or even if Matas by some luck gets ahead of Abe, he still will win the championship. As it was all planned out for him. But nevertheless, John Gibson finally having a great race today. He's down in 11th place, but he is challenging Lucas Van Dam for 4th place. Abe Santoma getting the fastest lap time of the race, a 1:57.5, and that's quicker than Ben Langford. Ben Langford might be suffering from damage, it looks like, because he is not going quick at all. Or no, he is going quick, sorry, but his last lap was not valid and actually would have been quicker than Abe Santoma's lap. Absolutely not able to calculate the deltas today. And here comes John Gibson. He is way quicker than Lucas Van Dam over these couple of laps. He's going 3 seconds quicker. And will he be able to go around the outside of Parabolica here? And I think he actually did get him around the outside of Parabolica. Well done, John Gibson, up into 4th place. And now it's full steam ahead to try and get Benjamin Badalf and maybe even Ethan Reed, as Ethan Reed was having a horrible moment there. Going very slow and losing out a ton of time to Benjamin Badalf. Yeah, losing about 2.5 seconds. Lucas Van Dam not able to keep the same pace as John Gibson. John Gibson absolutely flying away from him, already pulling a 2.5 second gap. And is closing the gap to Ferdi Jerry Ramadhan just a bit. Now, Michal Malajek challenging Patrick Starr. Or at least he was before I clicked on him. As Ben Langford takes the fastest lap time of the race. And, well, that last lap was a whole second quicker than Abe Santoma. So yeah, Ben Langford doing the absolute utmost best to try and get this championship in his bag, but yeah, not sure anything will, well, I'm not sure anything will happen that will make him the official champion, as Benjamin Badolf comes into the pits and now will promote John Gibson up into 3rd place. Well, this race absolutely going into the Scottish, how do you say it? Into the Scotman's hand? You can say that. Whatever. It's going into his hands, isn't it? Playing into his hands. As he goes 3rd in the AM split now. That might be a bit too late to be getting all of these positions. Nevertheless, he's still equaling or actually going quicker than Vgtr Ramadhan, 159.8. And that's actually on par with Anthony Camacho's laps, who is currently sitting in 5th place. And it is just a second slower than Mohammed Irfan, who's in 6th. So John Gibson will be hoping to catch up to the back of Vgtr in the next couple of laps. Pocholo Di Mano closing the gap on Felix Palin. Pocholo Di Mano just coming out of the pits now. And who was that who just set the fastest lap time of the race? It is Ben Langford yet again, a 155.8, and that is 2 seconds quicker than Abe Santama last time out. And well, you could see the desperation. He's definitely pushing the car to the limits, and hopefully he doesn't push it over the limits, but I don't think he'll be able to do anything at all. Benjamin Badolf saying that he's got a 1-minute pit stop as it stands. And wow, that is just absolutely unlucky. I think most people will have massive pit stops in the coming stages. It's Pocholo Di Mano just falling a bit behind Felix Palin. And Tom Bartels getting close to Benjamin Badolf. What just happened there? Ethan Reed and Tom Bartels coming together. And that has completely spoiled the battle between Tom Bartels and Benjamin Badolf. Though I'm sure he'll be able to catch up in the coming laps. As Tom Bartels able to take that chicane very, very well. And you can see the try line already forming. As it's only been 16 minutes, but the dry line definitely there. And I think it might even be... it's still wet, which is really weird. Still wet conditions, so it is definitely not. You can't even see too many puddles out there. If I didn't tell you there were puddles, you probably wouldn't see them. As Tom Bartels still struggling to catch to the back of Benjamin Badolf. Possibly a bit of damage on that Ferrari. But now finally able to pick up the pace and already catching 3/10 in that one straightaway. As finally Abe Santama able to at least get a bit close to Ben Langford's time, as he sets another quickest lap time of the race at 155.3. And Tom Bartels in the pit. Tom Bartels able to overtake Benjamin Badolf, who actually got a stop and go 30 seconds for exiting the